The Forgotten Village. A man named Elias had spent his life seeking answers. He had traveled far and wide, studying ancient texts, visiting forgotten temples, and speaking with wise elders. But no matter where he went or how much he learned, there was one thing that always lingered in his heart, a question that seemed to have no answer. Why does everything fade away? Elias had lost people he loved, watched his youthful dreams grow dim, and seen places he once cherished slip into decay. In his search for meaning, he had come to understand that life was fleeting, but something about it all never felt right. The inevitability of loss haunted him, and he couldn't help but wonder if there was something more to learn, something deeper about the nature of impermanence. One day, as he wandered through a dense forest on the outskirts of the mountains, Elias heard a tale from an old woman in a nearby village. She spoke of a forgotten village, a place that had once flourished at the foot of the mountains but had mysteriously vanished over time. It was said that the village had once been filled with laughter, music, and life. But as the years passed, the villagers disappeared. First, the crops failed. Then, the people left, and the village was slowly swallowed by the forest, forgotten by the world. Some said the village was cursed, others claimed it had simply succumbed to the passage of time. Intrigued, Elias decided to search for the lost village. He believed that perhaps in its ruins, he might find the answers he sought, the key to understanding why things fade, why they are born only to be gone. He journeyed for days, following the old stories and the fragmented maps, venturing deeper into the wild woods. The air grew thick with the scent of earth and moss, and the once distant call of birds faded into silence. As he pressed on, a sense of unease began to creep over him. The forest felt as though it was watching him, its trees standing like ancient sentinels. Finally, on the fourth day of his search, Elias stumbled upon something hidden beneath the undergrowth, a stone path, faintly visible, as though it had once been well traveled but had long since been abandoned. He followed the path, his heart quickening with each step. After a while, the trees began to thin, and before him lay the remnants of a village, a scattering of crumbled stone houses, broken walls, and empty streets. It was eerily quiet, the only sound the whisper of the wind through the trees. Elias walked through the ruins, running his fingers over the rough stone, feeling the weight of history in the air. He imagined the villagers who had once lived here, their voices carrying through the streets, their lives full of purpose. But now, all that remained was this silent, decaying memory. He sat on the steps of a crumbled house, overwhelmed by the sight before him. He had expected to find some hidden truth, some relic or artifact that would reveal the meaning of impermanence. But instead, all he found was silence, a reminder that everything, no matter how vibrant or enduring it seemed, would eventually disappear. As he sat there, he noticed something. A small sprout had pushed its way through a crack in the stone. A tiny green shoot reaching toward the sky. It was fragile, its life uncertain, but it was alive. A realization washed over Elias in that moment. He had been looking for answers in the wrong places, expecting to find some grand truth about why things fade. But the lesson the village had to offer was simple, yet profound. Impermanence is not something to be feared, but embraced. It was in the very nature of life to change, to ebb and flow. The village had once been full of life, but it had given way to the forest, which in turn would eventually give way to something else. Life did not end, it transformed. Elias stood up, his mind clearer than it had ever been. The forgotten village was not a place of loss, but of renewal. It was a reminder that nothing remains the same forever, and that change was the constant thread weaving through existence. The village, like everything else, had faded into the past, but it had not been lost. It was part of a greater cycle of life, one that continued, whether seen or unseen. He looked at the little sprout, so fragile, yet full of life, and understood that even in decay, there was growth. There was beauty in the fleeting nature of things. The village had been forgotten, but its memory had taught him something priceless. Life's impermanence was not to be mourned, but accepted. To live fully was to embrace change, knowing that every moment, even as it passed, was a precious part of the whole. With a sense of peace, Elias turned and made his way back down the path. The forgotten village would remain just that, forgotten by the world, but forever etched in his heart, a silent teacher of the truth he had long sought. Nothing in life lasts forever. If you found this video makes it so beautiful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.